Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Super Giant Dudes podcast. That was session 19 of Blank Space Blues. Aimee's episode, Aimee's first episode in the main campaign as Aisha Dread, Dancing with Dread. Y'all get it now? Y'all get it now?
Aisha.
Aisha.
The voice mod was pretty jokes. There's some good good mispronunciations.
I love that that whole pronunciation of the Aisha Dread name, because that so many people of color have gone through that experience.
Oh yeah.
Of people just butchering
the
their
fact that I'm an alien. Yeah, just getting my name butchered.
Yeah, that's why I've always hesitated to tell people my Chinese name, because people are like, "Yeah, my Chinese name," and every time I try to say it, they'll try to repeat it, and they absolutely annihilate it, and I'm just like, "Why? Why?"
Yeah, I can remember.
But yeah, session 19. What a good one. Any initial thoughts? The whole thing.
I'm so angry.
Angry.
Yeah, I'm very angry. Like when you meet me.
Yeah. She's got a lot of attitude. She's got
that kind of turns out well.
You've been in prison for so long.
Yeah, and then to be in a Mad Max post-apocalyptic every man for themselves type world, you can't trust anyone.
Yeah,
you just can't.
Yeah. I mean, you just meet these random guys who, you're used to running into random thugs, right? So, not a weird thing for you to be on guard when talking to this random bug man and dog that just showed up on your planet out of nowhere. Yeah,
bug dick.
Yeah, bug dick. But yeah, let's start at the beginning and go through some of the notable parts. One of obviously the first notable things is this is the first time we meet Theodore Evelime, the Prog Master. Different, I think, came up with the title Prog Master as as a substitution for president, because I don't know, it sounded sci-fi and it was Progress Master. I don't know. Prog Master Theodore Evelime was the first time we saw him, and obviously he is a parody of someone who exists in real life. Obviously, that is not being hidden in any way, shape, or form. And it is very obvious, even and I think made more clear by the art.
Yeah.
But that was actually my first time ever. That was my first time ever doing a Trump impression.
It was really good.
I've never really done it before. Not something
who watches
I
a lot of that. Just bashing content of politics, and then I get to relive it in a sci-fi world. It's so excited to meet him.
Yeah, it is funny seeing it. What would it be like if he was plopped in a sci-fi world? But yeah, I had to watch a lot of videos,
just as terrible,
and stuff about of his speeches to get his cadence, to get his and everyone always comments on my impressions and my voices and stuff, but what was most not difficult, but what I spent the most time doing, and I think honestly I believe deserves more credit than the actual voice, is the writing of the speech, because I was studying the words he used and the way he spoke, or the way that his ghostwriters write his speeches, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say he don't write shit.
Yeah, exactly. But the way his speeches are worded, I actually study that a lot more than his actual voice. Yeah. And I think the way that I wrote his speech is more accurate to what Trump does in a podium speech setting than the actual voice itself. And I'm actually really proud of I spent a lot of time of the actual writing and using very, very and tremendous and all of the words huge, all of those words.
Mannerisms.
It took a lot of work to nail that more than anything for that. So glad it translated. I thought it was very funny to do. You guys laughing broke me partway through, so it's good. It's good.
I couldn't stop laughing. It was just too much. I think even with everything that had happened at the time, it was just to see us getting then bashed on because it was so much more it went from Bungit like having the regular kind of like, "Ooh, Bugaki, you monster, you terrorist," and then you get like, we have this whole speech from like this perfect. It's just great, but it just kind of changed because I was worried like to get heavy again when we have another news report, to be like, oh fuck. But it was such a it was such a good twist to be like, yeah, we're still getting bashed, but in a way that it makes us want to fight back.
you're getting a funny guy. This is also your first time. And hopefully only time that you guys are seeing the tomb, which is something that we created for the map, which is like basically the prison planet. I think Sappy, you and D-Friend were the ones like when we were discussing like what it looked like. That the inspo was Riddick. The planet on Riddick. I honestly haven't seen that movie.
I think
fully
Alex
in
might
years,
have had more of that. I think I was kind of doing a little bit of that because he mentioned it, and I was having memories of it, and then I think we were just kind of
It's such an old. I don't even remember anything from that movie.
I just remember it mostly being
just
on
a lot of
ship.
desolate planet, and there's like the ship, but they're traveling to that, and then they like crash or something, and then everything kind of goes all to hell when they realize they're on this planet. But like the funny thing about Riddick is like he's kind of hidden as the main character the whole time until like they kind of end up on a planet where they need like his lack of vision becomes like his superpower.
No idea. You guys were like Riddick. Yeah, it's like dope. Half the planet's like molten, and I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds cool. Do it. I like that. That sounds like a cool idea.
There was an actual name of the planet. It was like somewhat based around. I can't remember what we were, but we had to Google it. But when I was doing my mapping.
Yeah. Also, this episode, we got to see our boy Thalsinar again. I honestly suggested the idea just because I wanted to give you guys a chance to see his 10,000 starships, and I love being Thalsinar. Thalsinar is very fun to be. There's just something so novel and great about all powerful characters, very powerful characters who are goofy. He's a little goofy in the way he talks. The way he had a whole speech for when you guys went down to the planet, but then he said it at the wrong time.
It was too early.
It was too early. I love his demeanor.
I even just picture the way him and his starship show up. It kind of just feels like they're kind of they do the Viking charge forward, and then they're like, oh, all right, turn left, and then they turn left, and they kind of move like that. It feels like they're very organized. But
the Dragon Army was something as a GM that because none of us discussed it. We kind of talked about the planet and Draco's Terraris, but I was what would the 10,000 starships look like? And I think my first thought was how would dragons function in space, and what would their ships look like? And so I was it'd be cool if they had cool dragon spacesuits or whatever. But then I was for the ships, their dragons are known and are powerful for their breath weapons and their magic and stuff. And I'm it would be a disservice to not have that incorporated into the ship design. So then that got me thinking. I was oh, wouldn't it be sick if each of the color of the dragons, the red dragons for the fire or whatever the case, each had their own ships, and a certain ship would be a fire ship, and it was just powered by fire. One was powered by lightning, and it was almost elemental magic. I thought that'd be a really cool design for the dragon ships. I don't know. That's how it kind of came to be, and I kind of just made it up. And
I think the universe that we created is like that anyways, blending magic and technology. That's why I love how open we can be with our mechs and how things work and what planets look like and ships and all that stuff.
I even fucking the MCU started going in that direction where they were fuck, when we do live action, how are we gonna blend all of the sci-fi stuff Iron Man and tech Witch stuff, and then fantasy stuff, and they're
Doctor Strange.
I think in the Thor movie they explained where they're oh, like magic is just science you guys don't understand yet. And it's like, okay, yeah. That's how the MCU's
Gods
taking
are
it.
just like
technologies.
Yeah, gods are just in a
It's like
distant
Dracula magic.
planet far
yeah,
away.
it's just an alien
they're just
race.
aliens. Yeah, they're just
Oh my God,
aliens. Which honestly,
It always blew my mind about
kind
like
of a
certain
smart way to
types of
do it.
magic.
Yeah.
It's fun, but then I'm always like, where did it come from? Like, I don't know. if you've
Magic
ever
is
seen the
just
new
more high tech
Castlevania.
science, and we're behind.
Yeah.
100%. It's like Dracula's reading old magic books. He's like, we just had these for centuries, and this is where I got my magic from. And it's like, okay, well, what the hell? Who gave you those books?
This is also the episode where we see Bugaki's upgraded mech. Obviously, the defense not here to talk about it, but I mean, mech upgrades are standard for I feel like every mech anime. So obviously, I want to include that. And with like upgrades and stuff, and like visual upgrades and stuff, I always want them to be story driven. So I thought it was cool that like his mech in particular, and I don't know if this was intentional. We could ask Defran about it next time, but like. As Bugaki like slowly unwinds as a character and like goes through the shit that he goes through, to have a mech that burns everything around him as a trait kind of feels so thematically suitable, especially with like, you know, the distance that he's creating with Mikey, where it's like keep your distance because like I'm literally on fire, but also there's already like that friction and tension between them. Like it's just so thematically perfect. Like I don't know if that was like an intentional move, but like it worked so well.
I had to guess with Defran, I feel like it was unintentional, but I feel like he was always conflicted with his character anyways. Like the more I talked to Alex about Bugaki, there's certain points around this time of the recording because we had to talk a lot about how we were gonna talk to each other. And I feel like it was at least there's a couple more recordings where we're really going through the process and like seeing what we want to do with all of this because there's actions that each of our characters take. And obviously there's going to be reactions and things. But I feel like there was a point where Alex was concerned. He was like, I want to do things with Bugaki, but I made him this like explosion happy like war guy, and then now he's having this flip thing, but he's like, do I dedicate to the flip? So I think he was having moments where he's like, I don't know, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, but I think it just kind of was in the flow. We just kind of kept going in these directions.
It progresses pretty naturally.
I would interpret it as because that was his mech before he met us.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
when he was more of a fiery guy.
So his mech before he met us was all burning and stuff. And then he jammed what he got with us into that mech, but still had to keep some of the burning because that
and even the way that everything kind of passed down with previous Bugaki and like the war he tried to win basically.
Yeah.
And even just I want to say he was a lot more self-preserving around that time also. Like you know, like, and his mech is also in the same way, like functions like that versus the upgraded mech where it's like, oh, I can protect you, or I can jump in way of damage and all these other things he was doing that weren't even function in this mech. Which is kind of fun, even in moments where Bugaki's like in battle, we'll have combats later where he's like, can I block this? It's like, you can't anymore. No, you can't. We have no more blocks.
I like also how his shift in morality also kind of leaks out in the battle in a little bit, where the guy is just like, I just work here. I'm just trying to get through the day. And he's like, fuck, man, why'd you say that? Like, it's Blumpkins that did it though. Blumpkins got him killed.
It's also, I feel like that's like real Alex coming out though too. Like in a way, like that's his character, but he also is like, fuck, I can't keep pushing his character down this line and kill another guy and not think about it. But it kind of worked out even in combat because I feel like Mikey there's that one point where we point out where he got a double kill and he was just kind of like posing and doing all these like extra movements every time somebody dies, and it's like complete stark difference.
But yeah, let's talk about obviously the star of the episode, our new friend Aisha Dread. Aimee, like without giving away like too much about like the future of this character and stuff, like let's start with like the basics first. Like, what was the inspo with like her look? Like we said in the episode, like kind of
talking about the character, the character, not
the character first,
So her inspiration with her look is I knew I wanted her to be alien, But I wanted her to be like slightly humanoid, so I wanted her to have like nice dark brown skin. And I'm just obsessed with goblins.
Yeah, it's just pretty goblin-y.
Because I almost was gonna be a goblin-looking character. Originally, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna be a goblin character, but I kept telling you, I was like, "Damn, I want representation though." So,
Yeah.
so I was like, if I go alien, it's like I feel like I'm copping out. Like, nah, I gotta go full black. You know what I mean? It's like how Disney.
Well, yeah, I get it. That's
you know how
that's
like
kind of why I went
makes,
Newman.
Yeah, Disney makes like minorities, and they're like a human for like 2 minutes in the beginning of the movie, and then
Soul.
they're animal. Yeah, then they're animal.
Oh, yeah, turning red. Yeah.
I still believe Gorons are black. All right, I'm just gonna say it here.
Yeah, I'm for that. But anyways, so yeah, that's why I was like, that's what stopped me, because at the time we were talking about this, I feel like a lot of us were discussing that Disney thing, and then it was getting me tight, and I was like, I don't want to be that person either. So I decided to design her like that, and I'm Jamaican, so her planet she comes from is one spoiler. It's okay. I don't think I really bring it up though. I don't remember.
No, we don't know anything about where she's from. Actually, no, we have some
a little
hints.
Bit. I think you just want to say the name of the race.
I think also the reasons also go into our characters and how they interact as to why we might not even know these things.
Yeah, you didn't ask. But so the planet she comes, or the race she is Duppies, and I'm Jamaican, and Duppies is like malevolent, like a bad spirit, like a ghost. It's pretty much a Jamaican word for ghost. So I just like the word like.
That's.
Cat.
So
like
yeah.
Baby.
So I wanted to like I wanted to sprinkle a little of my culture in, and Duppy sounds very like fantasy, sci-fi. So anyone that's not Caribbean, they wouldn't know that. So it just sounds like I just made it up, like a cute word, but it's actually like spirits and ghosts.
Deep reference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you told me that, I was so down to call that race.
Yeah.
What was the inspo behind the mech?
Okay, so
obviously you love tentacles.
I learned that taco is actually
taco is Japanese octopus.
Yeah.
Octopus is my favorite animal, but I just like tentacles in general. It doesn't have anything to do with octopus being my favorite animal. That's a whole separate thing. I have to make that clear. And I'll put, if I have any excuse, I'll put it in anything that I work on. It doesn't matter. Real life or fantasy, somehow there'll be tentacles involved. And I like, and then I was like, damn, we missing sex appeal. And then I was like, I'm gonna give my mech some fat ass titties and the good thighs. Because I also like, because I also like a good laugh. So I like a good laugh also, and I wanted my mech to just be so like weird. I want it to be like
I love the design. It's so
sick. I want it to be like the
I think it's also a great answer.
The ecchi mech animes. You ever seen them where they literally are built like that? Like some Darling.
Darling in the Franxx. So they're all in like they're all in doggy style position. Like we gotta learn how to ride this quick.
Yeah, or even watch Gundam. What's it called? G Gundam. And then his girlfriend, when she you remember G Gundam? My burning finger. Oh man, that one's a good one. But there's like a female looking mech in that too.
What about the fist? The giant fist. What was the
giant fist is because
that's the burning finger.
I just thought it'd be.
Amy likes fists.
I was blending it. I was blending like I was thinking burning finger, but instead of a burning like finger glove, whatever, and he boxes a lot. Like in his mech suit, it's like they all do a fighting tournament, and it's like every country fights in mechs instead. And then he's like, he's more of like a boxing type. And then I just wanted a big ass fist because I thought it was funny to fist people. For the pun purpose.
Yeah, the fista. That's just with Aisha's intro. We talked about it. Like Aimee and I, like we wanted to like establish like how someone like her ended up on like the prison planet, survived, but also has a mech. And like you see that immediately where like you guys are getting like hassled by these like junkyard scavengers who are like, you know, gonna try to rip your parts and shit, which, you know, probably happens a lot to anyone who like, you know, crash lands there or like or ends up on the tomb or any ship that passes by or any kind of tech that gets messed up by the electromagnetic atmosphere. And so immediately, you know, just like with her intro that like she has been like scavenging the scavengers and like taking all the cool parts that she can and likely built, you know, her whole setup and her whole mech out of all these parts. Because how the hell do you make a mech in a prison? That's how. But yeah, I wanted the intro to establish that, and also that like everyone on the planet had that reputation of the Fister and like was scared of her, just to give you that like initial dread of how strong she could be and is. Yeah.
I enjoyed it because I think even when the introduction kind of happened, I think the way Mikey played it off was I was still pretty much afraid of them even after Bugaki's like smoking the cigarette. I'm still like a distance away. Like, are we good?
Yeah.
Going on over there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great intro.
And the way I kill too is like very intimidating. Like just monster
or
like
hot, depending on who you ask.
Depending on who it is.
A lot of penetration.
Tentacles and a lot of penetration.
A lot of penetration, a lot of suckers.
Penetrating.
Yeah.
It's like a Prince song.
Question for Mikey. Once you guys got into the tomb and like were like going through the documents and stuff, and you guys were like trying to discuss like who you should release. Why did Mikey just release everybody? I get it from a character perspective, but like what was going through Sappy's head when that was happening?
It was a mix of both. There was a mix of character and Sappy, because a part of me was like, I should probably do something to make this a little efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And then a part of me character-wise was, let me find a way to make this work out for my character. But I was also trying to create a dynamic between me and Aisha that like I hadn't really had with other characters yet.
That was the worst dynamic you could do.
Yeah, it was a little, I created like a sibling dynamic from the start where I felt like I was the annoying, like, underhand. Yeah.
I'm gonna do
because like you were speaking like knowledge to me, but even the timing that you run into Mikey in the story wise is like the worst time you could try to get to know Mikey is like right now. So like even like if you had said what you said to me like a couple episodes back, I'd be all ears. But like Mikey, that episode is like, oh, and then but like definitely it was a mix of like Mikey probably couldn't have done that, and we probably could have selected it. But something about just like the fact that he's not super focused and thinks that like at that point everyone's utilizable. Like if I'm gonna fight like the scum of the earth, we gotta use the scum of the earth kind of shit.
Yeah, even in the moment, you like flashed back to like everything that happened on Conjuring. So I know Mikey was like going through it in that moment, but I was curious to know the behind the scenes.
Sappy justified it because I was like, this could take a minute.
Yeah. Of the former Jin Commanders that you guys released, so I think that's Mojave, Bisa Phillips, Xian Zijlin, Jilly Gulu. Who interested you guys the most upon like hearing like who they were?
Originally, the two that ran away, but I played it off at the time. I didn't want to interrogate.
Whispery Pete and
Whispery Pete for me.
Tori West.
Like, what do you whisper?
Because I was going to try and like stop them in some way, or like maybe have like a combat for them, but I was like, I feel like that's going to overcomplicate everything because I already made it messy by opening it. So part of them escaping made me feel like, I'm going to have to answer for that at some point.
Well, I mean, Tori West is still alive at large. Whispery Pete, though, you guys snagged along with the Jin Commanders.
It's crazy we brought so many ships to break out like 4 people. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Break out 4 people.
I mean, that just shows
everyone.
you. Yeah, that just shows you how crazy Tomb is, right?
Well, you don't know. I mean,
they're probably all trying to figure things out now, depending on people, what you got.
Some prisoners who like maybe like commandeered like one of the security mechs or like escaped or like some people could have gotten onto a ship and out, right? So like there could be people out there who escape the tomb who are maybe not so savory. Now that I've said that, I have to honor it at some point. You heard it here first.
I feel
folks.
like we're already at that point.
Truly, not something I thought about until right now.
We're gonna end up saying them again next episode.
Yeah, maybe. But finally, the last thing, the big reveal publicly on Rainbow Valley Radio of Mikey being revealed as Michelangelo Fazos.
Wow.
Big moment, big, because I mean, to this, up until now, the universe doesn't know that Mikey's alive.
It was being pretty hidden since the first incidents, right?
Yeah. It's because there was security footage released of the Steve Hobbles, and that's like people on the internet as they do, they like see that shit and they're like, "Yo, wait, what? That looks like fucking." Yeah. And then that's when like the conspiracy stuff and like the side YouTube channels and stuff.
Like it kind of works out for Mikey because in a way, I don't know if anyone's played Persona 5, but I'm going to make a Persona 5 reference here. They start a group called like the Phantom whatevers, and they like steal hearts and whatnot. But they have a guy that does like online work for them and like spreads rumors, but like to bring stuff like that. And I feel like Mikey has been trying to like almost utilize Rainbow Valley like that in a way. So like the fact that
it is more of an indie, smaller radio station.
Yes. The fact that this security footage kind of circulated organically was kind of like, oh shit, fuck yeah. Like a nice moment for me. Because I was like, finally, they said my name live. Because I was trying to find a way to like almost spite the whole family line by kind of making the public question them a little more. And I was like, I gotta find a way to
well, it all begins with
my
that.
mark.
So it's very, very cool. Any final thoughts? Before we wrap up this talk back. Otherwise, next episode we got some more Aisha madness.
I'm very excited.
I'm just gonna say
Aisha madness.
I'm just gonna say watching this episode, I noticed the her talking to herself and touching one of the buns or something. I don't know. There's something that then you just said that the race is called Ghost or something. So I don't know. There's some. I don't know. I was thinking about something
really
science.
Who knows?
I'm telling you, if I didn't make that dynamic, we would have known more.
You'll have to tune in to Super Journeys to find out.
Oh yeah. Also, Aisha's from Aisha Clan. If you're Outlaw Star fan from the anime. That's where Aisha came from.
I gotta
you
look
ever
it up
watch Outlaw Star?
Nope.
But is it old school?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's old school.
Okay, I gotta add it.
But Aisha Clan is a character in there, and that's where I got the first name.
Oh, cool. It's a cool name.
Sci-fi.
I love
It's
Aisha.
a cool name. Yeah, it's cool.
Very dope name. We will see if I can get things edited for next week. Likely not. We'll see how much I can get done with the week. We're editing week to week now because we're all caught up, so it may take some time. If not next week, the next episode should be not on the 2nd but the 9th, because it'll be a big bad con. So stay tuned. Either next week or the 9th will be the premiere of episode 20, which is a very, very fun episode.
Very interesting.
Which you see the ramifications of everything happening this episode too.
It's funny. This episode I remember vividly. This one coming.
It's quite a vivid episode. Yeah, the combat was very cool too. The flickering shield. You guys do some cool shit. Very, very fun. But yes, we will see you around. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be online. We'll keep you posted on all our channels if we'll be streaming. Hopefully get back into the swing of things. Once October hits, hopefully be a little smoother, a little less busy.
Star Trek now?
Yeah, Star Trek guy. All right, cool. We will see you all later.
Bye.
Over and out.
Scotty, beam us out.